World Grand Prix Motocross Series.
He'd make a real impression if he moved around Henry right here, the series leader.
Brown, of course, doing a good job at Charlotte, winning at Las Vegas and Charlotte back in '95. Second in points in the 125 East that year. Had some injuries, some hard luck, and is fighting to get back into the mainstream. Here's Henry. Brown, Huffman, Dowd, and Birdwell are top 5. They're in position right now to qualify for the main event.
Brown staying very close to Henry. He's going to learn a lot. Henry's very innovative out there on the racetrack. Got good lines. He did a lot of different things in practice. Some of the other riders showing that confidence he showed back in late '95 before he got hurt.
First and second, about a 6-second lead on Huffman in third right now. And Dowd is back another 3 seconds. Oh, Henry in first place, being challenged by Brown. Will he win it? We'll find out in a moment. Welcome back. We're getting close to filling out the field tonight from Phoenix, Arizona. Doug Henry here in the second semifinal round is our leader. He's got a huge lead as we take a look at the top 5 right now. They're in position to transfer in the main event. All the other ones go to the LCQ for a chance at only 2 spots at the gate.
Doug Henry leaping into the whoop section that time. Keeping good momentum everywhere, and Brown is still right there, and they're pulling away from Huffman. So these guys got a great pace going, a good ride for Brown.
Doug Henry was such a great start on the Supercross season. Everybody thought, oh, a big surprise. Second place, great performance in the first round, until they saw the bigger surprise with the win in the second round. Damon Huffman in third place, as we mentioned earlier, coming off the flu bug. Still doesn't look like he has his strength back totally.
Well, he never looked real great when he had to go to the semi, but it wasn't really his fault. He just kind of got caught up with Doug Henry in a weird type of crash, and I think last week he wasn't able to ride to his full potential because he had the flu. With a 4th place finish, you got to expect that if he's a little healthier, he would do better.
Two-time 125 Western champion in 1995 in the 125s. He had 6 straight victories. White flag is out. This is the final lap. Damon Huffman looking strong in third.
This is the kind of the part of the race where you just learn. He knows it's not going to be a real big deal for him to pull out all the stops and try to catch Brown this last lap. Just try to learn from the track, learn where the slippery spots are, and maybe try to make some tire choices when you go back to the pits for the main event.
Our leader, Doug Henry. A 4-second lead on Mike Brown in second. Damon Huffman in third. And then we go back about 7 seconds before number 14, John Dowd, in fourth.
Even if it's a semi, it still feels good to win a race. It's a great feeling to cross that finish line first with the kind of talent that's in the semi. So I don't think it's going to bug Doug Henry too much. Remember, Albertine won the first round after going to the semi.
Doug Henry, the winner of our second semifinal round, and Brown will be second. The guy that's got to be happy right now is Ty Birdwell from Warrington, Oregon, making his first main event of the season in 5th place. We'll be back with some words from Doug Henry, as Marty Reed will be talking with him when we return. Got to hand it to the fans here at Sun Devil Stadium. The rain came down. They hung onto their seats. This great action, as we see from the Suzuki rundown. Doug Henry, Mike Brown, Damon Huffman, John Dowd, and Ty Birdwell making it to the main event after the second semifinal is over. Let's go to Marty.
Down here with a very happy Doug Henry, especially after the first heat when you didn't have such a good corner. In fact, it was right there in front of us.
No, the first heat, I didn't get off to a great start, and I was trying to make up time really quick. And I guess I was riding a little bit over my head.
Well, you had no trouble here, but I want to show everybody this helmet. It's a 2-tone helmet, one for a side for the Packers, one side for the New England Patriots. And now, tell me the story on this.
Well, my mechanic's from Wisconsin, and I'm from New England, and we got a little bet going. This is his side. It's got Pete. It's got his name on it. New England side's got my name on it. And whoever wins the Super Bowl gets to keep the helmet.
Well, you had a great ride. We'll see you in the main.
All right, thanks.
Another terrific Troy Lee design, huh?
Well, he keeps coming up with them. He had lights on Jeremy's helmet, then the gold with the $100 bills, and then he's got a fin on some of them, looked like in the Rocketeer, and now this.
Okay, the Supercross is very likely coming to an arena near you, so check it out. Next, we go to the Seattle Kingdome on February 1st before heading to Indianapolis. Then we go south to Atlanta, Daytona before Minneapolis, Houston, Orlando, and St. Louis. Then over to Pontiac, Michigan, east to Charlotte, over to Dallas, and then finishing up the season in Las Vegas, where we'll not only have an outstanding final showdown for the 250s, but also an East-West 125 shootout where both regions will come together for a lot of added extra bucks. The future superstars, the 125 main, coming up next. AMA Supercross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. Quality training for the motorcycle industry.
Our Honda flashback takes us back to 1992 at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. One of the greatest rivalries of the early 90s was Jeff Stanton versus Damon Bradshaw. These riders battling side by side all year long, but at this point in the series, it was Damon Bradshaw with a commanding lead in the title. But his aggressive riding style resulted in a horrifying crash over one of the triples as Bale narrowly missed his motorcycle, inheriting second place. Bradshaw, who had dominated the series up to this point, would score no points. In retrospect, a devastating blow, eventually costing him the title. He'd walk away, but Jeff Stanton walked away with the race win, followed by his teammate Jean-Michel Bale.
Exciting action from the past out of Indianapolis. We will be back in Indianapolis on the 15th of February. Hope you can join us at that time. And while we were away, Jeff Matasevich and Mike Chamberlain finished 1 and 2 in the LCQ, filling in the final 2 positions at the 250 gate. 20 riders in all. And we go to Kevin Windham, the defending champion, with the #1 plate.
It's hard to believe that this guy has been so dominant and looks so smooth and flawless, making no mistakes, is not leading the series right now.
Take a look at the Suzuki starting grid. Robbie Raynard, of course, has looked very strong, except for a little arm pump to finish the races. Michael Brandis looked good in the qualifying heats, so did Pedro Gonzalez for the first time this year. 22 riders in all at the gate of the 125s now as they take 4 out of the last chance qualifier for that 22-rider field.
Track's starting to change just a little bit. The rain lightening up quite a bit. All it really did was just help hold this dirt together a little bit better. Some of those powder berms, all that dust kicking up, is a little bit more loam now, and it's going to make these lap times a little quicker.
Kevin Windham, who won, dominating the first round in Los Angeles, finishing in 8th in the second race at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Let's go down to the floor of this fine facility, and Marty Reed.
Art, you want to talk about domination by Kevin Windham. Take a look at this statistic. Windham in his heat race was 9 seconds quicker overall than Casey Johnson in winning heat #2. That's over a second a lap, and David, you more than anybody can appreciate that.
Well, you figure if you get the whole shot and have a pretty big lead, it better be more than 9 seconds, which is a great big lead, or else this guy's going to catch you. And if he gets a good start, just hook on to the rear fender and hopefully you can stay with him till the end.
A record attendance here in Phoenix, 63,565 came to Sun Devil Stadium tonight to see Supercross action. This is the 125 main event. 15 laps of action. Last week's winner, #28, Brian Deegan. Kenny Watson is mechanic now. It's Windham, Casey Johnson, Nathan Ramsey, Michael Brandis, Pedro Gonzalez, Craig Decker, Brian Deegan, Robbie Raynard, Stefan Roncada from France, Grayson Goodman, Christopher Wheeler, and David Villemin, also from France. A terrific field of 125 riders ready to go here in round 3 at Sun Devil Stadium.
Raynard and Windham right there lined up just next to each other. Raynard on the inside. If they get to the corner at the same time, Raynard will have an advantage.
The gate can drop anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds from now as they start to rev the machines, and we are underway. Windham with a good point, but on the inside, Windham, he got around the block. Amazing. Kevin Windham got around Jeffrey Pastana, 173. Not too many other people got out of that first and second turn.
Casey Johnson and Grayson Goodman hooked up in that. Unfortunate for Casey Johnson, he won his heat. Also a miserable start for Raynard.
Roncada is in second place. He took second in the World Supercross 125s in Europe. Roncada racing for Honda of Troy.
Also a pretty good start for Brandis right there. He's able to get over that double.
I was impressed with Brandis in the qualifying rounds, weren't you?
He looks better every time he gets out there on the racetrack, gaining more and more experience each time, right, with these U.S. riders.
Pestana is still in fourth, and the real battle is right here for second place. Roncada and Brandis.
There's a sense of urgency right now to really push the pace. Maybe these guys can hook up, push each other, and try to stay close to Windham. Otherwise, he'll be gone. And right now, they're still pretty close.
Pedro Gonzalez has now moved in front of a teammate and another rider for fourth place. Pedro Gonzalez, number 35.
You see Windham already going the other way, heading towards the triple.
There's Pedro out of Monterrey, Mexico. Kawasaki of Mexico took a 7th in the first round, a 15th in the second round at the Los Angeles Coliseum. And as you can imagine, in Los Angeles, a very popular rider. Here comes Windham and Roncada. Roncada, number 112. Looks like he's off to his best performance in the season.
Very close to Windham right here. Just behind Windham, you get a glimpse of Roncada. There he is. He's pulled away from Brandis and started to apply the pressure to Windham.
Windham, Roncada, Blandis, and Gonzalez, and then Postana. Our top fives. We go into that sandy section.
Well, this will be new for Windham. Probably hasn't had too many opportunities to ride with Roncada. Has no idea what to expect from this kid if he gets close enough to get in there and bump him.
In Europe, David, we saw Roncada and Willemin square off in almost every race. Roncada was more like the Rain Hughes. The all-out would go down type of effect or win the race, whereas Willemin had a little bit more technique, a little smoother ride than Roncada.
Well, Roncada doesn't have a whole lot to lose here. He won't be competing for the entire series, I don't believe. And if he has a bad race, so what? He's going to give it all he's got. And right now, he is, and he's pretty close to the leader.
First and second place have a 7-second lead on Michael Brandis, number 33, from Menifee, California, racing for Chaparral. And, of course, he's got his hands full with Pedro Gonzalez behind him, number 35.
Gonzalez going high in that berm to try to get a slingshot off the corner. That's one of the more slippery spots. In fact, it's the only slippery place on the racetrack.
Pedro Gonzalez's father owning a bike shop in Monterrey, Mexico. He sold his pickup. He sold about everything he had to come to the United States that first year to participate in the Dallas Supercross, if I remember correctly. Then he got some sponsors after his Dallas performance and was able to stay in America running this 125 series.
Very smooth rider, Gonzalez. I've seen him in some arena crosses where everything's really tight and you have to be precise, and he's phenomenal. Great rider. I'd like to see him on a 250. I think he'd be really good on that size bike.
These two riders battle for third. The battle for first is still not given away to Windham. Roncada hanging right with him.
Yeah, there he goes, Windham and Roncada at the bottom of your screen through the first corner, so you can see how far of a lead they have right here over Brandis. Roncada's actually closed up on Windham. Brandis here enjoys a little more breathing room this lap than the previous over Gonzalez.
Let's go down to Marty.
Sean, your man is doing a heck of a job staying with Windham.
Yeah, he's got a good pace going right now, and he got off to a good start. He had bad luck in his heat race at the start. Mostly he's just out here to get warmed up for the East Coast Series and get used to racing with these guys. This is only his second race in the U.S., and I think right now he's going to turn some heads in the East Coast Series.
Well, he's just coming by us right now, and he is within, a half a second.
Yeah, he's pretty close. We didn't really talk about so much racing with these guys, because I know Kevin's out for points, and I'm not sure what their situation is. Right now, he's just going out for the experience, and if he can pull off a win, that would be great. That would be the ultimate experience, I guess.
Art, I'd say this is some great experience.
Oh, his first race in America. He started in fourth, held on to fourth, and then ended up in sixth position. This would be quite an accomplishment, David Bailey. Roncada holding with the very quick Kevin Windham.
Even if he just stays where he is, it's a phenomenal performance from a kid we haven't seen a whole lot of, keeping with the newest phenomenon, Kevin Windham, who doesn't ever seem to make a mistake until that wild race last weekend. But an incredible ride so far, and you can see behind him there's no one in sight, so it's a two-way battle here. He can drop it and still finish second.
What a battle! Roncada just not giving in to the aura of Kevin Windham. He tries to block him in the corner and can't quite as Windham slips the screen.
He's got a good line here, though. He's going to get the drive off that corner. Windham did a good. Windham is so good on a flat corner. If he wasn't, Roncada would have made that pass.
Going into the season, we thought Kevin Windham, who won 6 races last year and took the 125 Western Crown, was going to run away with this cleanly. But after the second round, you started itching your head a little bit. Now Roncada, an Eastern rider who's put his name, I think, up there with the contenders in the East before the season starts for the East.
I know Windham is probably just thinking, okay, if I don't make any mistakes, any major ones, and hold my line, this kid ain't going to find a way around me. But how long is he going to stay back there? Windham hasn't had that much pressure from anyone for more than about 6 or 7 laps.
Robbie Raynard didn't have the best start in the world, but he's moving up to challenge Gonzalez for 4th as we take a look at Kevin Windham. Kevin Windham has got his hands full as he goes over the jump on the finish line. Let's go below to Marty to see what's going on down there.
I'm down here with Ali Seymour, and your boy has his hands full right now.
Yeah, that guy's riding a good race, and Kevin's making a few mistakes. He's putting a little pressure on him, but he can hang.
Did you expect this?
No, I haven't really watched a guy ride before, but he seems to be doing a pretty good job, so we'll see what happens. We got about 8 laps left.
This is getting real exciting, guys.
As Kevin Windham starts to pull a little lead, let's go back a little bit now to 3rd place. Brandis, number 33, is getting a heck of a challenge from 24. Look at Robbie Raynard, just cleanly sweeps by him now on the triple.
I talked a little earlier, I was watching one of the heat races with Raynard, and he got a terrible start, worked his way all the way into a great position. And I mentioned I thought he was better at riding from behind. He has nothing to lose, and he doesn't worry about being nervous. He doesn't protect anything. He just goes for it. Right now, almost last to 3rd is a great ride at this point in the race.
Raynard, and then also Pedro Gonzalez taking advantage of the move. Number 35 going right by Brandis then too. Oh, what action from our 125 support race to an expected outstanding 250 20 laps coming up. So who will finally make it to the 125 podium? We'll get to that answer when we get back. Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, right side out of Phoenix, as we are at round 3. 125 final action. This is our leader, Ali Seymour, putting the board out for Kevin Windham. Number 1, the defending champion, Roncada, has dropped off the pace a little bit, but is still holding on to a solid 2nd.
Well, he's got to be pretty happy just to be where he is and just to have a look at Windham. No one really ever does unless he gets a terrible start.
It's only a 1.5 seconds behind him as Windham goes through the sand area in turn 2.
That fluctuates a little depending on where they are on the racetrack, and if one rider makes a little mistake, one will open it up and it'll close back up. Right now, Roncada, I don't have any reason to believe that he's fading. He's still very close.
Going over the triples, Roncada right behind number 1, Kevin Windham now. Just one of the nicest young men. Very pleasant smile, speaks extremely good English. He's been to the United States a couple of times before coming over for racing as we take a look at the Honda stopwatch. We'll check out the lap times.
What you may see start to happen towards the later part of this race is the confidence and the experience of Windham and his flawless riding is he'll just make fewer mistakes. The pace of Roncada will be there, but one little mistake here, one little mistake there, and none from Windham will let him open up that gap, and it is starting to get a little bit bigger right now.
I think the only question right now is, can Robbie Raynard catch Roncada in 2nd place? He's got a long way to go. But the 3 riders now are starting to separate out as Brandis is in 4th. We see Kevin Windham and the Honda stopwatch coming down. Keeney has moved into 5th in this race.
Windham is just like clockwork. Every lap, the same line. He'll jump over this bump, square this corner, make it over the double, no problem. Closing in on a lap here.
He's got the lapper running 55.2.
Pretty quick. About what they're running in practice. And he'll be doing those lap times every lap.
Wheeler is out. Or Jeff Willow, rather, number 45.
And he got tangled up in that whoop section.
Jeff Willow, a 14th and a 20th in the first 2 rounds. For Team Nolene, having his problems again. Number 33 is Brandis.
Brandis looked good in the beginning, and he's still in a pretty good spot, but really lost a lot of time in the top 3 positions. He's probably dropped about, I'd say about 10 seconds behind Raynard, who not too long ago just slid past him.
Right now, they're so spread out as Roncada drops off the pace in 2nd. Robbie Raynard is a good 5 seconds behind Roncada.
Looked like Brandis was looking down at his front wheel at one point. He could be having a problem. That happened to Ryan Hughes last week. He got something stuck in his front brake, so it's hard to tell, but he definitely dropped off the pace.
Right now, the young man out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, just is cruising now with a nice smooth texture, no pressure. Looks like another dominating win.
It does so far. Tracks get more torn up each lap, and they'll start encountering lap riders. That could change. They'll have to ride smart, but Roncada he's got to be happy with this. Even if he finishes second and this far behind Windham, he's got to be really proud of this ride. He's just stepped a little closer to a victory.
Roncada 7 seconds behind our leader, as Decker now moving into 7th place after a very poor start.
And there was a little mistake by Roncada. That's the kind of stuff that will give Windham that bigger lead. Windham will turn 55-second lap times until he runs out of gas, probably. So that's why he's starting to open it up now. Those little mistakes really cost you. Some lapped riders here for Roncada to work his way through.
Robbie Raynard is now moved within 6 seconds of Roncada in 3rd place. So some of the lappers and Roncada's mistakes have him slowing down a bit. Number 112, he could be getting tired. Maybe a little arm pump under the pressure. Very young rider from France.
Well, Raynard is great from coming from behind. As I already pointed out, you don't have much pressure, and it's funny to see that a rider can get the whole shot, end up 3rd or 4th, and then take off nearly last and end up 3rd or 4th. It just has something to do with, I think, where you subconsciously feel like you deserve to be, and Raynard is definitely making a push to the front. He has enough time to catch Roncada.
Right now, Kevin Windham with a dominating lead as we go back to 3rd place, number 24, Robbie Raynard. The run for the 125 checkers is on. We'll be back in a moment for the conclusion of this 125 main event. The white flag is waving as we return to the 125 main event. Kevin Windham, so close now, only 1 lap away from winning his 2nd out of 3 races so far this year.
Heel clicker. I think we're going to see a lot of those this year. We already have.
Windham, Roncada, Raynard, Brandis, and Keeney are top 5 right now.
Here comes the triple on the other side.
Lots of flash bulbs popping.
That one's just a little bit too hard to jump.
There's a lapper down there too.
Yeah, it's tough to get. There's a rock starting to come up. This track really gets chewed up. It's going to be tough for the 250s coming up. Getting a lot rougher.
Sand out there, David. That's the first rock on the track I've seen. The checkers for Kevin Windham, and a great ride for this young man, an Eastern 125 rider, Stefan Roncada, giving a high five to Kevin Windham. He's got to be a very thrilled young man. Robbie Raynard will place on the podium in 3rd. We're getting closer now to the 250 main. We'll be back with the official 125 results and a talk with our winner, Kevin Windham, when we return. Taking a look at Kevin Windham and his appreciation and my appreciation for that flexibility in that young man with the heel clicker as we glance at the top 10. First of all, the first 5, Windham, Roncada, Raynard, Brandis, and Keeney. Let's take a look through 6 through 10 right now, as Marty Reed positioning himself with the very happy winner, his 2nd win on the young season out of 3 races, coming back after getting a terrible day at the office in the 2nd round in Los Angeles. Let's get out of Marty.
After an 8th place finish at our last round in Los Angeles, nice comeback, great ride.
Yeah, Los Angeles wasn't that good to me, and I went home this week and I worked really hard. I rode good there. I just made a few mistakes, but when I came here, I just felt really good from working hard all week, and the crowd's behind us, and it's just really fun out here. I had a good time.
What was the difference as far as that outside pass on the first corner there? That was a bit of a breath taker.
Yeah, it's sand up there, and I felt like I had the whole shot, and somebody swept me on the outside, and I was just so ready to get it that I just went for it, and luckily it worked out for me.
Kevin Windham, your winner in tonight's 125 main. Moving over here to Robbie. What a great run.
I'm so happy tonight. It's my 2nd race here, and finish second for the 2nd race. I'm so happy, tonight. I did a really good race. I'm very happy.
You did a great job. You're supposed to be running the Eastern Series. You're giving these guys in the West all they can handle here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not understanding very well what you say.
Well, I'll tell you what. Your English is still better than my French. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And Robbie Reynard in third place. Robbie, come on and get in here. First 2 rounds, you had a lot of arm pump problems, physical fitness, but boy, tonight you had a tough start, but came back strong.
Yeah, I've been getting good starts at the last 2, and I got a lousy start here. And I just put a good moto together. I'm happy with my ride. I got a little bit of arm pump, but not as much as I was. I was able to keep my pace pretty much the whole moto, so I'm feeling a lot better. If I can just get a start with them, I think it'd be a good race.
It's a good comeback. Congratulations. Robbie Reynard, third place.
Thank you so much, Marty, as we take another look at the fantastic performance of Kevin Windham and how he dominated the Suzuki top 5-point standings. According to our calculations, Windham now with 63 points on the season in an effort to recapture the 125 Western Crown. So as the 125 celebration continues, let's take a break. Coming up next, can Jeremy McGrath break into the win column in the year of 1997? We will soon find out here at Sun Devil Stadium in Phoenix. Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium. The parade lap is underway as we take a look at number 1, Jeremy McGrath. After some hard rounds in 1 and 2, hitting the podium, though, the second round in Los Angeles. In the second round, Jeremy McGrath hoping to get back into the win column like he did in '93, his rookie year, and then proceeded to the title. Lamson and Emig winning heat races back on track, David.
They both looked really good, and the difference was that Lamson's heat was about 9 seconds faster than Emig, so a lot faster pace for Lamson, and both those guys got great starts and went wire to wire, so the start will be really important tonight.
It is a fact that the 3 previous races held here in Phoenix, the winner here has gone on to win the Supercross title. Johnson in '86, Jeff Ward in '87, and in the last race, Jean-Michel Bayle in 1991.
Well,
might Jeremy McGrath kind of slip into this scene and take a victory here tonight? It's a good track for him.
Well, I think it's a great track for him, and he's also had enough time to adapt to his new ride. And if you cruise around the pist and ask people, everyone seems to think that this might be Jeremy's night.
We see Jeremy McGrath as he circles the track, checking out the new ruts that might be there. The Suzuki starting grid: Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Emig, Steve Lamson, Mike LaRocco. This could be a good ride for LaRocco too, David Bailey.
There's a lot of riders in the first couple of rounds that have had to go to the semifinal and still had great results in the main event. So it's a good track for LaRocco. The rougher it gets, even with a bad start, because the rain has stopped and vision won't be a problem.
Well, let's go down and check on that track with Marty Reed.
Yeah, guys, this may be the kiss of death, but the rain has stopped. But track conditions, David, are excellent, except for the whoops. In fact, you're getting a little peek on it right now. The couple of grooves in there that could play havoc with some of the riders. But overall, track conditions have held up extremely well, and we have that light shower to thank for it.
Well, as they start through the whoops, you did get a good shot of how rutted out they are. That's not a continuous rut, but they are chopped up. And as you get through there and your front wheel hits one of those and starts sideways, it's bad news.
After seeing last week's winner, Doug Henry, check the torque out a little bit on that soil. We go back to the eyes of concentration right now, visualizing what's going to happen when that gate drops before 63,565 fans here where Arizona State University had such a great championship year. Doug Henry getting last-second advice from Pete Stonebreaker. Wyatt Seals leaning into McGrath. What is he saying right now?
Stay focused. It's only 20 laps. This is what you train for. You think about it all week. This is the time to make it happen. Get the start and pull away. The problem is, I think every other mechanic's telling their rider the same exact thing.
Henry readjusting the bike. 30-second board is up. We're just about set for the start of round 3 of the Ford Parts Unlimited AMA Supercross.
There's $1,000 at stake for the guy that gets the hole shot. They've painted a white chalk line across just before turn 2. First guy across that line will pick up an extra grand.
But the way that turn 2 is right now, he might not be the first one out of turn 2. We'll check it out. $1,000 for the 1-900 Pro Race Hole Shot Award. 5 to 10 seconds, and that gate will drop, and we'll be underway to see who wins the grand. It is Emig. Lampson goes down. A pile up behind Lampson. Hughes gets up out of that pile and is back in the race. Doug Henry also down. Damon Bradshaw along with Lammy. But our leader right now is Jeff Emig. Albertine just passing Huffman. Here comes Jeremy McGrath. Jeremy McGrath is coming up.
Here's another look. Watch Lampson. He slides out, goes down, takes out Bradshaw and Henry. A gift for Jeff Emig and McGrath. Great starts.
Okay, back to the leader, Jeff Emig now. Emig. And it's Albertine. And guess who? Number 1, Jeremy McGrath in good position. Larry Ward is in 4th position with Huffman in 5th. And Michael Craig in 6th. Then we've got Mike LaRocco as we take a look at our leader going for the second lap through that sand in turn number 2.
You can see Larry Ward getting a faceful from Jeremy. He challenged Jeremy all the way into that first corner. They bumped a little bit. Jeremy got the upper hand. Ward once again, round 3, up in the hunt, putting pressure on the leaders.
Here's the battle for second place. Jeremy McGrath trying to get up close to Albertine. Albertine, though, didn't crack under the pressure in round number 1 for his first U.S. Supercross victory. Larry Ward, number 6, getting the roost. You can see why those tear-offs are important today.
They're going to need them all. And another chance for Emig to have clear sailing. He did this at L.A. in round 1, but then he got nervous. First race of the season, all eyes were on him after winning the 250 National Championship, then the International Supercross Championship.
Damon Huffman, after a 4th place in the last round last week, is trying to put the squeeze, and he cased it a little bit right there with the mistake, giving Larry Ward a break.
A lot of little mistakes. Larry Ward almost went off the racetrack in the corner before the finish line jump, saved it. This track is starting to tear up a little bit. They did a great job to rebuild it after practice, but this kind of soil really wears down. You can see these choppy holes coming out of the corners in those berms. The rider's starting to steer away from those ruts.
Out in front is Jeff Emig. Not far behind is Albertine and Jeremy McGrath. And then it's Larry Ward and Damon Huffman. McGrath to the inside against his teammate with Team Suzuki, and he comes back a little bit as Albertine gets the advantage back again.
It's a great attempt by Jeremy to take the inside.
Here comes Jeremy again through the whoops.
It was amazing. He went to the inside and still almost jumped the double.
McGrath in second place to challenge Jeff Emig, baby. Albertine still right there with Larry Ward coming up in 4th. It's a tight 3-bike train.
McGrath had to make that pass because Emig's starting to pull away, and if he gets out there with any kind of a lead, he can relax. No one will catch him. He's fast enough.
2 races this year, 2 different winners on 2 different brands. Can Jeff Emig hold on to make it 3 different winners on 3 different brands? I don't know. Jeremy McGrath has got good momentum there in second place, and it looks like he's catching Jeff Emig as they cut out of the corner. Emig doing a nice job on the triple. Jeremy staying low. Here's another look at the pass.
Albertine going wide just before the whoop section. As they start in, look at Jeremy carry the front wheel over there. All gets better momentum, and he'll angle over, cut away the line from Albertine.
Here's Jeremy McGrath. He's cut a second off on that lap on Emig's lead now. He's only 2 seconds behind the Kawasaki machine of Jeff Emig.
He's the fastest guy on the racetrack right now. Emig and Albertine and Larry Ward and Huffman, all those guys stayed the same that time, but Jeremy moved away from the guys behind him and closer to Emig. He's on the move.
The concentration of Wyatt Seals as he goes to his pit board. Taste it. And that is exactly what Jeremy McGrath is doing. Pulling up within a bike length of Jeff Emig here in the early going of our 250 main event.
Oh, this will make Emig nervous, that's for sure. And look at Jeremy, never follows, going back to the inside again. Also a smart idea to keep out of that roost. You saw that roost from Emig on the outside right there. He's trying to keep clear vision.
Jeff Emig, the only rider to beat Jeremy McGrath on that Honda machine last year. He did it in his native St. Louis, Missouri area, but Emig is holding on for dear life here in Phoenix, Arizona. Not getting a good speed out of those little bump sections.
It's getting tough, and now that Jeremy's this close, he's going to have to start protecting his line. Look how far to the inside. He went in that corner, makes a little mistake there. It's good news for Jeremy.
A lot of wheel spin out of that corner.
Well, he had to go so much to the inside to protect his line. He didn't get a good exit out of the corner. This is where Jeremy's been fast.
What a battle! Jeremy McGrath takes this first lead of the season. Jeremy McGrath is going to have to hold on, though, as Jeff Emig's to the inside. Emig doesn't smash him. Clean pass, clean corner, and Jeremy McGrath is in the lead. Emig, though, not willing to give up, tries to block past him on the final turn before the finish line jump. Let's get out of Marty Reed.
Wyatt Seals, it took your boy 3 races to figure out that Suzuki.
Well, yeah, you're right, but it seems to be going good right now. Emig's not going to give up for a while if he gives up at all. So, I mean, Jeremy's got to stay in it, that's for sure.
You nervous?
The nerves are going a little bit now, for sure.
He's cranking. We got to let him get back to work.
Okay, Marty. McGrath with his worst Supercross finish ever in the first race this year. Only had this Suzuki a few days. Actually, he got the race bike on Friday before the Saturday night race in Los Angeles. A 15th place. He retrieved a 3rd then in the next race at Los Angeles Coliseum. So more time on the bike, getting it adjusted the way he wants it, obviously is paying off here in Phoenix.
Definitely paying off. I talked to DeCoster, and Jeremy had a lot more time on the bike this week. Got it dialed in, and it sure looks it here.
The battle for first place continues. Emig is not that far off with Albertine in 3rd. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, outside of Phoenix. McGrath, Emig, Albertine, and Ward, our top 3 riders, as this main event has been a crackerjack.
That section right there that Jeremy just went through, he's been faster than everybody there all night. Just starting to open it up. Pretty much the same everywhere else on the racetrack as Emig, but that one section, he keeps opening it up.
About a 2.5-second lead already.
You know, after Jeremy made that pass, Emig had 2 chances to go in there and park Jeremy into the hay bales, and he didn't do it. That's got to make Jeremy feel good to know that he can go in there and race close like that and not really worry about getting taken out.
The situation a little bit different with Emig and LaRocco last week.
A lot different, but I think LaRocco drew first blood there, and Emig parked him pretty good the second time around and putting in a good ride here.
It's still a great race, though. Emig, if Jeremy McGrath should make a mistake, is right there.
DeCoster's got to be happy at Suzuki. Got 2 guys in the top 3. What a change from last season.
And 3 guys in the top 6.
A lot of changes over there for the better, and I think with Jeremy's experience and ability to test the motorcycle and set it up good, perhaps rubbing off on the rest of the team, and they're getting those things dialed in.
LaRocco and Hughes. Number 11 is Lusk. Craig is 15. Henry is number 20 after that bat. And Lusk is down. First time he's gone down this year. Jeremy McGrath spun out in that sand, and Emig is now in first place with Albertine in 2nd and Jeremy McGrath in 3rd with Larry Ward in 4th.
Well, he was happy a moment ago. There's DeCoster, concerned.
Just as we said, if Jeremy McGrath makes a mistake, Emig is right there ready, playing it cool in 2nd place. And now Emig is trying to take away with the lead.
Oh, what a breath of fresh air for both Albertine and Emig. That it looked like Jeremy was going to run away with this. Now they got a second opportunity, and maybe it'll take Jeremy a lap or 2 to regain his composure.
Jeremy McGrath still looking very composed and very quick. He's trying to put the pressure on his teammate, at least 2 Suzuki riders anyway, as Jeremy McGrath forming his own team, Knack Racing. Greg Albertine, of course, with Team Suzuki. But right now, Jeff Emig, number 3, is in front of these 2 riders.
This is going to be tough for Jeremy now. He's already passed these guys once. They already know where he's quick on the racetrack. They'll probably make that adjustment, and it'll be a lot tougher for him to get around again.
So a bad break for Jeremy McGrath has him in 3rd place. Picking up some space, though, in that far corner. as they go into the triple. Jeff Emig looking smooth. Albertine. And then number 1, Jeremy McGrath. I have a feeling we're still going to have a barn burner here.
Well, anytime you look back and see Jeremy with the kind of career that he's had, no matter what's gone on in the race, if you look over your shoulder and see that number 1 plate coming, you're nervous. You got to protect your line. He's dangerous.
Do you think Emig would handle McGrath differently later in the race?
Definitely. He won't be quite as polite as he was before. I wouldn't expect him to be. If I was Emig, I'd do whatever it would take.
Right now we see the 2 Suzukis, but Albertine is getting up close now to Jeff Emig. Emig number 3, Albertine number 8. Ooh, Albertine.
This looks just like round 1, about this point in the race too, where Emig was leading. Albertine putting the pressure on, got around. Emig making a little mistake. Lusk is down again.
Lusk having a bad day.
Both Lusk and Henry having a horrible main event here. They're going to drop a lot of points in the series standings.
Well, sometimes new scenery and new situations just what people need, and that's what we thought Ezra Lusk was going for. The new bike, the new team, a new look on the track, and new results, a 5th and a 2nd. And look at this. The battle is on between Suzuki's for 2nd place, and Jeremy McGrath, a nice inside pass. Albertine breaks early, and Jeremy McGrath has got a little bit of space now to pick up on number 3, your leader. Albertine and McGrath, 2nd and 3rd.
Albertine, Larry Ward, number 6 there behind Jeremy, really starting to put the pressure on by the finish line jump. Keeps getting close to Jeremy. He's getting a little quicker through the whoop section. Now look at David Huffman.
And Albertine is off the track. So Emig has a horrendous lead.
The battle for 2nd behind Emig is a 3-way battle now, and that may be to the benefit of Emig.
5 seconds in front of Jeremy McGrath. We've got a 3-way battle for 2nd place.
Oh!
Emig, and Huffman goes off the track. Huffman very frustrated.
I don't know if he's hurt or if he's stuck. It's hard to tell if he's stuck in there.
Pulling his leg out between the hay bales.
He had a lot faster line through the whoop section, had a run on those guys. Both Ward and McGrath couldn't make the corner.
Emig now with a 6-second lead on number 1. In 2nd place, Jeremy McGrath with Larry Ward. 3 bike links in back of number 1. There's Ward, number 6. What a great start on the season this privateer has made. He's already made $2,800 on privateer special awards beside the purse money.
I think he's been criticized a little bit by some of the other riders and even by me, but for settling for the podium, maybe not being as aggressive as I think he could be. And what he gained from that was a lot of confidence. A 3rd and a 5th of the first 2 rounds, now putting pressure on McGrath. This guy's got to be feeling like he can do anything right now. And it looks like he's faster than Jeremy at certain points in the racetrack. If he stays close, he may be able to pass him.
At this point in the race, those 2 are 5.5 seconds in back of our leader. But Larry Ward certainly has gained a lot of strength over the last 3 weeks. Did not get much riding practice coming into the season because of the broken leg and torn tendons in the ankle. They took the pin out on the Friday before Saturday night's 1st round race in Los Angeles. And what a performance he had. A 3rd place podium performance in round 1. Came back with a 5th place. Still not up to par physically. Jeremy McGrath now starting to pull a little lead on Larry Ward, and more importantly, starting to pull up to our leader, Jeff Emig.
Right behind Larry Ward now is Ryan Hughes, who had a horrible first 2 events at LA. Having a great race here. Not a very good start, but he's getting stronger as the race goes on. Starting to make up some time on Larry Ward now, who's lost some time to McGrath. He may start worrying about...
Only about 3.5 seconds, David Bailey.
Right, I think Ward may be concerned more right now with Ryan Hughes coming up from behind. McGrath.
Ryan Hughes making a big charge behind Larry Ward as Ward gets caught in that sandy rut area. And we look at our leader, Jeff Emig. Jeff Emig now trying to gear it up and pull away from Jeremy McGrath.
I don't see it happening. Right now, Jeremy's starting to close the gap a little bit, and as soon as Emig looks back there and sees that number 1 coming again, he's going to change his riding.
He's not been able to close the gap on the last lap. Here's Ward and Hughes. Hughes battling it out. Hughes with a horrible start of the season is adverse to Larry Ward's.
You can see right there how fast Hughes is to that whoop section.
Hughes looks like he wants to take on McGrath.
He's not that far away. Got pretty sideways right there, but the way he's going through that whoop section, if he gets close enough to Jeremy, he'll make the pass, no doubt.
After Henry went down, Henry has now moved up to 6th place as we take a look at Larry Ward.
Still a good ride for Larry Ward, running 4th. He's got a pretty good gap over LaRocco, who's in 5th.
Look at the lap time on the Honda stopwatch. Emig with a 3.5-second lead on Jeremy McGrath right now. And 55.2 the unofficial lap time.
About the same as Windham in the 125 class. I think on the 125 you can be a little bit more aggressive in some places. I know I've said that before, but that's the case.
Damon Huffman, after crashing into the hay bales in the pits.
Just behind Emig.
Looks like Huffman is pulling out of the race. Yes, he's going back to the pit area. As his Kawasaki teammate, Jeff Emig, has taken another half-second lead on Jeremy McGrath. Emig, McGrath, and Hughes, 1, 2, and 3 with Ward in 4th. Let's go down to Marty Reed, who's with Jeff Emig's mechanic.
Jeremy Albrecht. It looks like Jeff's got a nice rhythm right now, and he's maintaining the space between he and Jeremy.
Yeah, he is. You know, he's had a couple bad weeks. Things just haven't been going his way. He rode well last week, but the week before not too good. But basically, he's tired of doing bad, and he's ready to go out here and make it look, you know, make it happen like he's doing now. So looks like he's just trying to stay focused and just think about what he's doing, and that's what he's doing.
We'll see you in just a few minutes, I think, in victory lane, guys.
Well, anything can happen in this sand, as Jeremy McGrath found out earlier in the race, that's for sure. Kawasaki has never won here in Phoenix. Emig won a 125 race back in 1991 when he was on a Honda. As we take a look at Jeremy McGrath trying to pick up some space on Jeff Emig, but Emig is just riding beautifully.
Well, he had a great opportunity once Jeremy went down to kind of get a second win. You can see how deep these ruts are getting in the corners. There's Ryan Hughes. He's pulled up quite a bit on McGrath now. McGrath keeps on reaching over the triple jump. I'm not sure what he's doing. He takes his left hand off the handlebar and looks like he's adjusting something every time.
Might have been after the bike went down. It got bent up a little bit. Jeremy McGrath still looks awfully good after going down.
Emig had a great chance to regroup once he got the lead again, and riding a lot more relaxed like we would expect. One more lap to go.
Wyatt Seals appealing as the white flag waves in the air. Don't settle for second place, but Ryan Hughes, in his aggressive style, we might have a last lap battle here for second, as Jeff Emig looks like he will become the 3rd different rider in 3 rounds to win a Supercross race this year. Jeremy McGrath, it's reported from the pits, has a clutch problem right now, and Ryan Hughes is trying to take advantage of it. Let's go to Marty.
Yeah, guys, I talked to Wyatt Seals, and I said, what's he adjusting? He says it's a clutch. It's a problem that they've experienced, and is just holding on now.
It might tell in the whoop sections, David.
Well, it's the last chance Ryan Hughes is going to have to get around McGrath for second. Looks like Emig's going to be able to hold on to it.
Jeff Emig takes round number 3. Oh, what an exciting start to the series for 1997 in Supercross. And a record 63,565 fans saw Jeff Emig become the 3rd winner of the season. Emig and Hughes sandwiching around Jeremy McGrath for Team Kawasaki, and Emig saluting his former crew chief and leader, Roy Turner, who moves on after this race. We'll be back in a moment. AMA Supercross on ESPN2 has been brought to you by Honda, the winners of the last 9 straight 250 Supercross championships. Honda, come ride with us. And by Suzuki. Right now, your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. There's our winner, Jeff Emig. And what an exciting start to the season, David Bailey. 3 winners, 3 races. Kawasaki's team crew chief, Roy Turner, retiring, going on to another job, I should say, in another industry, really. But Jeff Emig saluting him earlier on the qualifying podium, saying this one's for him. And what a great way to go out, and what a great way to start a 1997 Supercross season.
Well, the entire Kawasaki team's got to be happy, except for Huffman, who was having a great ride. A great ride for Hughes, who had a terrible first couple of rounds, but both of them on the podium. Roy Turner's got to be very happy with this.
Here's the top 10 results. Emig, McGrath, and Hughes will end up on that podium with Larry Ward. Another good top 5 performance as the leading privateer. Let's go down to Marty Reed.
A very happy Jeff Emig. This was a turning point for you back in 1991 when you won a 125 race. You must love Phoenix.
Well, I just had a really great bike tonight. Kawasaki with the Bridgestone tires. It was great. It was great off both starts. I got that $1,000 bonus. That's always nice. And McGrath was charging real hard there at the beginning, and I was fortunate that he went down. And I just really kept my cool, and I rode the same laps that I did all night. And I'm just really happy that I can, get a win here after those last 2 weekends. But I would like to thank Shoei helmets, Alpine Star boots, Shift gear, Arnett goggles, and Troy Lee Design, and all the fans that are here too. Thanks.
I've got to ask you also, 3 different winners, 3 different manufacturers. This is going to be a dogfight this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's totally wide open. I guess I was pretty happy to see Greg Albertine win the one, and then Doug Henry win the second one. And I knew that if it went that sort of way, that even though, my points and my finishes haven't been that good, that if I just use my head and ride real well, I can get right back up there. And I'm really happy to win here tonight. And I'd like to thank my girlfriend Lonnie for coming out, and just all my friends and stuff that were here.
I think they've got something for you here. Take a look at this. What's it say on there? Another $1,000 bonus from 1-900 Pro Race. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I'd like to thank 1-900 Pro Race for putting that in. I've been a pretty good start, and Kawasaki's been really good off the start, and so hopefully we can win these $1,000 bonuses every week, make some money.
All right, let's switch over to second place. Come here. I know you're not happy. Take us through what happened when you went down.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Gary Samix. We had a long talk before the main event, and he's trying to spark some of that fire back in me. Last few weeks we've been struggling with the bike, and the bike's excellent. I love it. Just haven't had enough time on it. And, I was in the mode there, and I just tipped over. It was kind of a brain fade.
Yeah, but you've got to feel encouraged because of 3rd place last week, 2nd place this week. That means there's only one more rung of the ladder to climb.
Yeah, that's for sure. I wish I could put Suzuki on the top right now. Had it in the bag and just brain fade, which usually isn't me, and I'm looking forward to the next race and start doing more of what I was supposed to be doing during the week.
Is it more fun this year with all the competition, knowing that everybody's got a chance at this, or would you like to go back to last year when you were just thumping the field?
Well, of course I like to win a lot and thump the field, but it's great to see different winners. I was really happy for Suzuki and Greg, and especially for Doug after all the problems he's had. And, it's just a mix-up, so it's going to be good down to the end, and I'm looking forward to getting my bike better, exactly how I like it, and just more time on it. I mean, my Suzuki's great. I just need to get up there.
We'll see you in round 4.
Thanks.
Let's move over to 3rd place. A great ride for Ryan Hughes. Congratulations.
Yeah, I kind of got a bad start. The last couple weekends have been real tough for me. I've been sick and having a couple bike problems, but the guys at Kawasaki have been working really hard and getting the bike the way I want it, and I can't say thanks enough for how much they've worked for me. And I wanted to do good tonight for Roy Turner because he's leaving our team, and that kind of sad, but I want to get a good finish for him and start getting up there and start winning these races.
When you said you had a rough couple of weeks, I mean, you had food poisoning, and that's nothing when you're just walking, let alone trying to ride these things.
Yeah, it was tough. I was up all night throwing up and stuff, but I had to keep fighting, and I'll get up there where Jeff is tonight. I want to congratulate him. He rode a really good race, and I can't say enough for Kawasaki and Thor, Bell, Scott, Bridgestone, my mechanic, Ron, and everybody at Kawasaki have done really good, and I just want to get up there where Jeff's at.
Guys, Ryan Hughes, 3rd place.
Thank you very much, Marty. And according to our unofficial calculations up here in the booth, Henry's recovery after going down put him a 6th place finish, which, if correct, would keep him in 1st place in the points, with Larry Ward, the top privateer, in front of 3 guys who's knocking it out in the point system: Albertine, McGrath, and Emig. So it looks like it's coming down to a great, and it's only the 3rd round, David.
Yeah, it's not coming down to anything, really. We got a long ways to go before we're coming down to the final race, but if this is any indication, I think it's going to be a really close battle. And like Emig said, it was a blessing in the beginning where the results were kind of surprising, really, because the favorites ended up getting bad starts and off to some poor results, and able to recover from that with good finishes here tonight. And Art, as you already pointed out, whoever's won this race in the previous 3 times has gone on to win the title. Could that be for Emig?
I don't know, though. I don't know if it's going to be that close, as close as it is this year during those past 3 years here in Phoenix, Arizona. Of course, we had 2 races back in the 80s, the late 80s, and then the 1 race in 1991 with Jean-Michel Bayle, but 3 different winners in 3 times, and Jeremy McGrath right there competing. We couldn't ask for a better race on the underway. Let's go back down to Marty Reed.
Guys, for a close, I can't imagine what this year is going to turn out like. I mean, last year, all 3 of us knew every time we came to the racetrack that Jeremy McGrath was going to be the guy to beat, and, you know, 13 out of 14 times he went to victory lane. It was getting to a point where I didn't even know what to ask him in victory lane. In fact, remember one time I even gave him the microphone and said, "What do you want to talk about?" Well, this year it's a breath of fresh air when we have 3 different riders in the first 3 rounds of racing taking the checkered flag, 3 different manufacturers. So now everybody's got something to brag about. Everybody's got something to hang their hat on, and we are going to see Jeremy McGrath in victory lane before the season's over. It's amazing to me how quickly also he has adjusted his riding style. The Suzuki doesn't have the low-end torque that the Honda has, and it's forced him to change the way he goes through the whoops, over the jumps, and every time out, except for that 1 mistake tonight, I mean, he rode a really good, strong race on a bike that he's had very little practice time. This is going to be a lot of fun.
It sure will, Marty. And we see on the screen right now the winner of tonight's race, Jeff Emig, who, while you were on the air, Marty, was hugging his former leader, Roy Turner. And this will be Roy's last race with the team. Let's go back down now to the floor of the stadium, as we might get a word from Roy Turner.
Yeah, for anybody who hasn't been around this sport for the last 20 years, you may not know this guy, but if you have been a part of Supercross and motocross racing, we're going to miss you, Roy.
Well, I'll miss it all, too. I mean, this has been a big part of my life for a lot of years. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great. And I'll be around. I won't be gone for long. You know, I'll be around the races. I love it. It's part of me, so you'll see me around.
A few less hairs, and a few of the ones that are left are gray, but what's been the highlight of your career?
To sum it all up in one highlight, it's impossible. I mean, when you've been doing something like this for 25 years, there's just too many things that have happened. I think I just have to say the whole thing. It's been an experience from the beginning to the end, and it's something that'll always be a part of my life.
Can I put you on a spot and have you pick your best and favorite Kawasaki rider?
Boy, that's tough to say. I mean, there's been a lot of good ones, and you know, they're all great in their different ways, and we've had so many of them through our camp. I can't say. I mean, my first one was Jimmy Weinert, and he was great, and the guys I've got now when I'm going out, they're great, and there's been a lot of great ones in the middle. Of course, Wardy. I mean, he's done more in motocross as far as number of championships and being a legend than as much as any rider has. So there's been a lot of them, and it's been a great experience all along the way.
All right, you were talking about Jeff Ward, obviously, but what about the remainder of this year? Take that Kawasaki uniform off for me. Who's going to end up winning this championship?
Well, in my mind, I think, and actually in all the spectators' minds, I think we were going to be the team to beat from the beginning. And we got off to a bad start. We had a lot of sickness with the team in the beginning, and the guys really didn't get a fair shake at it. And I think they've kind of woke up here. They're well now, and we've got past a couple little equipment problems we had. And I've got to say, we're the powerhouse team, and I think you're going to see our guys there in the end.
All right, he still sounds like a Kawasaki guy at heart. We got to move, guys, because there's a guy with a bulldozer with a blade about yay big that's about ready to plow us.
Well, Marty, it sounds almost like looking back on the race right now, a Hollywood scriptwriter had something to do with it, because Roy Turner in his last race as team manager, moving on to another job, and it's a situation where the race was dedicated to him in his 20th year with Kawasaki. About 14 years, I believe, as their team leader, their team manager. And what a great feeling it must be for Jeff Emig to be able to hand that victory over and get his first victory of 1997 after following up with that great victory in St. Louis last year. So that's the third victory for number 3 as we see him go through the jumps right here. Jeff Emig, number 3, his third Supercross win of his career. Now, David Bailey, a 9th place unofficial finish. I had Lamson finishing. This is a tough pill for the team Honda to swallow.
Well, I think that for Honda, all the emphasis is on Steve Lamson right now. He's the only rider. They roll out the new semi with one guy in it. Although they're giving him all the support now, where a lot of it was, of course, focused on Jeremy McGrath last year, that's a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing. That added pressure has really seemed to take its toll on Lamson in these first 3 rounds. 3 tries and 3 mistakes have really cost him.
And, of course, the privateer effort of Larry Ward. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that Larry Ward would be up there in the top 4, top 5, shows a lot of toughness. And he's going back to the place he won his only Supercross, Seattle, Washington, next week. Hope you can join us. Art Ekman for David Bailey and Marty Reed. So long, everybody.